Likutei Halachot 4:5. V'zeh bechinat kimat chatzot. This is the idea of waking up at midnight, meaning all that we said before. We're going to tie it in. Shetzrichin litgaber me'od lakum b'chatzot laila. We have to be strong a lot in order to get up in the middle of the night. Litabel me'od al chorban bet mikdash, in order to mourn and feel the mourning of the bet mikdash, the destruction. And this is the main way of getting that malchut again out of the klipot, to raise it up. Like it says in the kavanot of the Arizal, Priyetz Chaim. Ki keshemit'abel al chorban bet mikdash, when a person does mourn over the destruction of the temple, ki'ilu osek bebinyanot, it's like he's building it. Ki, like we says in Ta'anit 30, Kol hametabel, anyone who is feeling bad and feeling the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, zocheh v'ro'eh b'simchata, he'll merit to see in the glory and the happiness of it, meaning in the building of it. So it means by mourning, you're actually building it. V'al yidei zeh mamshich al atzmo kiddushat Beit HaMikdash, and now you're drawing on you the Kiddusha of the Beit HaMikdash, which is again Yemot HaMashiach. So that's how it's relating back, because we said the Malchut, in times of Mashiach, we're going to raise it out of the Klipot and even learn the higher knowledge of it. So by doing Tikkun Chatzot, it's like you're making that happen. Shesham Ikar Ora Panim, and the higher knowledge is again the Ora Panim, when the face is shining, which has to do with Shalosh Regalim, Shemamshichin b'Shalosh Regalim. Shehayu tzrichin la'alot el Beit HaMikdash le'rot p'nei Hashem. And Shalosh Regalim take us to the Beit HaMikdash, because that's when you go there. And again, to see the face of Hashem, or to be seen, le'ra'ot. So that's why, again, Chatzot has to do with seeing the face of Hashem, or seeing the learning clearly, meaning, which is Shalosh Regalim, because that's when we go to the Beit HaMikdash and we're building it, all these ideas coming in as one. And we want to accept and receive this Ora Panim, like it says in the places that we talked about it, in Likutei Maram, or in the Zohar over there, and in the Kitvei Ari. Nimsa comes out, She'ikar Or HaPanim Beit HaMikdash. The main part of Orach Panim is in the Beit HaMikdash, because of course that's when Hashem is not in exile and he's seen and we're seen in front of him. That's why we have to get up at Chatzot, uhitabel me'od al chorban Beit HaMikdash, and again to mourn excessively, me'od, on the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. That's interesting. The word lakum is to get up, and we say Chatzot laila akum, I wake up or I get up. Leodot lach. Also, we say it's the aliyah of the malchut. So the malchut is getting up. So by us getting up, and then going down on the floor, really, we're raising up the malchut. One can say, really, when we're on the floor, and then after you're down, you then get up, it's also alluding to that we're getting up and going to the Beit HaMikdash. Basically, just to elaborate on that point, we're not mourning the Beit HaMikdash. We're mourning ourselves. We are the Beit HaMikdash. We're in ruins, which means we're not all that we can be. You know how in science they say we're only using like a small percent of our brains, 10% or whatever it is. So it means if we use the rest of it, we would also enter into a whole domain of spirituality with prophecy and all this. We're not using our brain even in the physical world, because we're not opened up. We're not opened up to be receiving all what Hashem has for us as a human being even. So we're on the floor, meaning we're down and out. We're not all that we can be. So we go on the floor to mourn the temple, even on Tisha B'Av. It's not that we're doing it because we're doing an act that mirrors that the Beit HaMikdash is on the floor, so we sit on the floor. No, the rabbis gave us an exact metaphor. We sit on the floor because we're on the floor. Forget the building. It's an exact act that mirrors what's wrong. And because we're on the floor, the temple follows. The temple follows us, not we follow the temple. We're not on the floor because it is. It's on the floor because we became on the floor. So now you can do an exercise when you go down on the floor and you say Tikkun Chatzot, and then when you're either at Tikkun Le'ah or either at the end, you get up and you say Ata Takum Terachem Tzion, or whatever it is. It's in both places. It's in the middle and at the end, so you could choose your place to get up. You can think of that now I'm rising up to the occasion, so to speak. I'm being all that I can be. Picture yourself getting up as you get up, and that the temple is getting up with you. And that's what it means, the aliyah of the malchut. Because now that you just did what you did by being on the floor and you were mourning it and feeling bad and resolving never to do this again, I'm not going to be so empty and not be all that I can be. I'm going to now be strong and do the right thing. And I get up with that. So now you're elevating the malchut right along with you. And it says, Ve'al ken tzirichim lakum b'chatzot l'tabel me'od al chuban beit mikdash, like we said. Ve'al ze yizker lefi b'chinato l'rot b'simchata. Everyone on his level will see in the rejoicing of it. Ulhamshich al asmo misham chayut me'or hapanim sheme'ir sham. And everyone will draw on it the chayut, the life of the Orach panim, the light of Hashem's face that is shining there. Lechayot b'chinat hamalchut. B'chinat chokhmat hata'ah, which again is the lower chokhmah. Kedei lizkot lasagot elokut, which is the higher chokhmah. All this tying into what we said before. And now look what Rav Natan says. He throws in about something we say in Tikkun Chatzot. V'zeh shemazkirin aliyat regalim b'tikkun Chatzot. We talk about the regalim. B'mizmor kayal tarog alafi kamayim kemo shekatuv. Because it says Era'el Pnei Elokim. And it says El Ezkira Ki Avor Basach Edadem at Bet Elokim. All these things about that were in the Beit Mikdash. Shuma Shayu Olin Baregel Beit Mikdash, because it's when we went up La Regel to the Beit Mikdash. Kemo Sheperesh Rashi Sham, like Rashi says there. If you look at that Mizmor closely, you'll see it has to do with the holidays, and that's why we read it. I believe it's the Sukkot Mizmor, at least for our minhag of the Sephardim. So it has to do with the holidays and Simcha, because it's Yom Simchatenu is Sukkot. V'zeh bechinat shalosh pamim panim. And that's why it says panim 3 times for the shalosh regalim. Shemazkirim sham. K'mo shekatuv sham, ma tishtoch achi nafshi, ki od odenu yishol panav. Right? It says that 3 times. Even though the next Mizmor, it says Shofteni Hashem, which is the next Mizmor, but it's really connected as 2. Just to throw in, I always wondered, in the Tikkun HaKlali, we don't say the last one, because it's another Mizmor. We only say 41 and then 42, which is this. So it's interesting, we leave out 43, so for Tikkun HaKlali, I guess you don't need the theme of the 3, because you're leaving one out, but that's just how Rabbeinu Zal told us to do it. V'chein shalosh pamim. Keneged shalosh pamim b'shana. Keneged the 3 times of the year, shema shalosh regalim. Shayu olin behen lekabel Orach panim, which is the 3 regalim that we would again accept the Orach panim from Hashem, that He would shine on us. V'alken tzirichin la'asok b'Torah b'chatzot. That's why we have to learn Torah at chatzot. Ki kol ot ve'ot shel Torah kedosha. Every letter of the Torah, kulam hem shiurim v'tzimtzumim kedoshim. They're all, like we said, a shiur is a measurement, which means it's like brought down, so to speak. It's not, Hashem is infinite, but the letters are finite, so it has a shiur in it, and it's a tzimtzum. From Hashem's will, as He is as Ein Sof, it came down as the stories and as the halachot and the mitzvot came down in the Torah as it is that we have it. So that we can understand some form or aspect of godliness. We couldn't do it without that. Now, even though we're always going to have the Torah, even when we get the higher Chokhmah, which is an Olam Haba, it just means the Torah is going to open up and we're going to read, much more into it. You're always going to need the Torah as a funnel, so to speak. You'll never get to see God as He is without it. It's always the Torah, and it's always a tzimtzum. Even existence is a tzimtzum from the Ein Sof. He had to make us, even Olam Haba. So it just means we're never going to stop reading the Torah. It's just going to be, we'll read it in a higher level. when the time comes. Val yidei haTorah shoskin az balayla, by reading and learning Torah at night, nimshach alav chut shel chesed bayom. You get a string of chesed in the day, like we say. They don't bring it here, but like we say, Yoma mitzaveh Hashem chasto ubalayla shiro immi tefillah lekel chayai. That balayla shiro immi, his song shiro is with me balayla, and that's why Yoma mitzaveh Hashem chasto, Hashem will command his kindness to me. Kemo shamru Rabbeinu Zal in Chagiga Yud Bet, ועל ידי החסד הזה קוצרין וחותכין את המלכות. By this chesed we cut off the malchut from the negative place, ubonin ota b'shlemut, and we build it up into the right spot and shlemut, completeness, ba'aliyat shachar, with the coming up of the shachar, which we said that time, shachar is also a word of the Shekhinah. Bibchinat, like it says in Yeshayahu, v'huchan b'chesed kiseh, we will establish his kiseh, because it's missing the two letters, ki yad al kes ka, like we say with Amalek. His kiseh, the yud k, and we're looking for the vav k, and all different things like that. Or kiseh, kes, missing the aleph, and ka is missing the vav and the k, which is hu. That's why we say in Purim, v'nahafochu, everything was turned around. It means the hu was turned around, that it came back, and Hashem's kiseh is complete. And we see this by chesed. Chesed will establish it. B'Torah kanal kamuvan b'kavanot, like it says there in Priyat Chaim, which means, just to tie it together, since chesed is going to bring the geula, so to speak, God's throne, so we do something that will bring the chesed. Chesed is brought by singing at night, or praising at night, which is tikkun chatzot and learning Torah. So that will bring chesed, and chesed will bring Yemot HaMashiach. That's how you're tying it up in here.